Hi ladies, it's been a long time, but I am so excited to be back and back into the swing of the blog and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. I was the assistant director for both of my boys' school play. They did Seussical, the musical junior, and it was so much fun. It just took a long chunk of my life. So I'm excited to be back, and I am excited today that we're going to be doing an inexpensive makeup look, but a really, really beautiful one. I don't say drugstore because all of the stuff that I'm using, it's not all from the drugstore, but it is all extremely inexpensive. There have been a few products that I've been using lately that I really, really love, and I'm so excited to share them with you. I've been telling all of my friends about some of them and just absolutely loving them. Now, because this is a smoky eye, I'm not going to do anything on my face until I get that smoky eye done. Now, I am going to be using my Coastal Scents. This was $19.99 for the 88 matte palette, but you can find it even cheaper on Amazon. I've seen this for $10, and that's pretty incredible considering you get 88 colors. These two you can tell I use the most of because I use them on my brows almost every single day. Such a great quality palette. There were no chips in it, nothing. They're very pigmented and I love them. I'm going to be using that for a lot of the eye color, but from the drugstore we have our e.l.f. primer. I've been hearing some great things about this. It's only $1, which is fantastic. And if I can get it open here, we will go ahead and begin with our primer. This is my first time using this product. Seems very watery, a little bit thinner than other ones that I would typically use, so I am spreading it on both eyes from the one eye. Now I have oily skin. It is getting warmer out, so we will be truly able to test this primer, this product, to see if it keeps my eyeshadow from creasing, just like the Urban Decay Primer Potion would. But like I said, I have been hearing great things about it, so just kind of pat it in, let it really sink in there. Then I'm gonna grab either a 239 or a Maxine's mop. I'll probably grab the Maxine's mop. Oh, I did. This is the 3/8 inch Low Cornell Maxine's mop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, let's see, probably this one for the most color payoff. It is the second one down in that first row. And I'm going to be using this quite liberally and do patting instead of swiping so that you get more in there and get all over that inner corner right there. Let me zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better. Oops. I know how to use my camera. Okay. And just keep building and building and building until you feel you have the right amount of lightness. And you'll notice I'm coming all the way up into that little area right there. Let me push you over just a little bit. So I'm just circling my eye and almost hugging it with this makeup. Now don't pull this too far over in here because we still will be using some concealer underneath our eye and foundation. And this color will also be blending into deeper colors over here. So don't go too far, but just bring it over. Okay, one of the things that I've noticed with the smoky eye that people have problems with is they say that it goes way too far up. They don't love how it meets with their eyebrows, all of that color. And what I say to combat that, until you know what you're doing or until you feel comfortable doing a smoky eye, use a really, really small brush and stay as close to your crease as possible. And you can always build the color up and always use a very, very clean brush to blend. That way you're not depositing more color and swooshing it up toward your eyebrow. I'm going in the black in the Coastal Scents. Coastal Scents is inexpensive. It does have a little bit more fallout, and by fallout I mean the little particles of eyeshadow kind of come all over your cheeks and whatnot. My chipmunk cheeks, they always stick out, so it's very noticeable when that happens. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start kind of where she did, right out there, and I'm going to draw a line coming in. This is kind of what they call cutting your crease, to where we will not go above this line. This is a very drastic eye and one that doesn't blend too much. And she comes all the way in, but to make sure we don't go too high, I'm gonna lift up my eyebrows instead of kind of getting in right there, so I can go a little bit lower and just meet those two together. It doesn't need to be perfect. And I'm using a pencil brush. Anything that you can find. There are some at Target. The Sonia Kashuk line is really, really great and they're inexpensive. This is a Nicole Miller brush. So I'm just creating that line, seeing where I want it to come, and I might even pull it out a little bit further. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up my eyebrow ever so slightly, and I'm going to pull this down into my crease. And we will be using eyeliner on the side, but you can kind of pull it down and attach it right there. This brush is just for placement. It's not for blending. We will not be blending a ton with this look, but we'll be blending a little bit. Now I want you to fill in that outer V out here with the black, only slightly though. And then we'll leave that eye alone for right now. When we don't have as much product on here, we'll pull it in just a little tiny bit, but for right now we'll keep it there. Go ahead and do that to the other eye. Now with what's left on your brush, go ahead and round this out a little bit more. Like I said, we're not putting any more product on our brush, but if you'll just take it lightly and kind of round that eyeshadow out just a little bit. Especially over here, you'll see it's almost like a tabletop. It goes straight, and I want it to be round. All right, by so doing, we've taken more product off of our brush by just blending that in. What I want you to do is just take a little bit and go over the lid. This is going to be very, very light in its color, you'll notice. Almost blending in the darkest part, going a little bit lighter across the lid. With that same Maxine's mop, we're going to take a little bit more of that light color and just pat right there in the corner of your eye to blend the black in with the lighter color. Now I'm going to take a makeup wipe up anything underneath that might have fallen out. Quite a bit of black. I'm really glad I did that. Now I'm going to take my foundation. I really like the L'Oreal True Match. I'm using W3. And Sigma, I had a brush that, this is my F80 that I love so much, but the bristles really started coming out, and they're coming out really, really badly. And I wrote to them about it, and they said, please let us send you a new brush. So I was very, very impressed with their customer service, that even if something was going wrong with the brush, they sent me another one for free. I thought that was really, really great, especially since I hadn't had it for so long, and I was really sad because it's one of my favorite brushes. And go ahead and use this and just clean up your face a little bit. I don't take it underneath my eyes a ton because there's another product that I love using, and this is a great depuffer because it's so nice and cool, this metallic part on the top. This is the Garnier Skin Renew Anti-Darkle Circle Roller. Just kind of roll it on underneath. It's very light in its consistency, which is wonderful, and nice and cooling, which is great. And I basically just pat that in. Sometimes I bring it down all the way right here and kind of work on that triangle underneath. And then make sure to take whatever concealer, under eye concealer that you're using, and clean up the edge of that black. Okay, now something that I'm so excited to show you guys about. This is probably my new favorite product. What it is, okay, I have to make a reference to food. You know Ben & Jerry's, they have the strawberry cheesecake. The cheesecake, in my opinion, is just enough because it's swirled all the way through. So you get a good consistency, and it's wonderful, and it's not too much, it's not too little. This concealer is amazing. This is the CoverGirl and Olay Simply Ageless Eye Concealer, but I use it as my concealer everywhere. Why did I make that reference about Ben & Jerry's? Because in this concealer, you'll see, well, kind of not because I've used it so much, swirled in there is moisturizer. So it is a creamy, creamy moisturizing concealer, and I absolutely love it. And this I've just been using on trouble zones. Here's where I need your guys' help. I haven't found a powder at the drugstore that I love more than the Zango that I've been using. So maybe give me your thoughts and your ideas on a powder. For me, I'm just gonna be using my Zango powder really quickly, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've put on my powder, and now it's time to do some eyeliner. I grabbed some Wet n Wild liquid eyeliner a while ago, and I haven't used it, and I'm excited to pull it back out. I actually quite liked it. What I might do, however, I'm not quite great at using this brush that it comes with, so I'm gonna grab the brush that I always use and dip it in there and then use it that way. Figured that was kind of sneaky. While still using an inexpensive product, but using a brush that I'm so much better at using. And I'm going to round this out as well, so keeping it rounded up at the top. Stay super, super close as you're doing your initial line to your lashes. That way you won't disappoint yourself if you go too far up. Always start out small. Small and simple things, and then great things will come to pass. Now I want to make sure that I get in between those lashes, so sometimes I go underneath and wiggle it up a little tiny bit just to get those spots completely covered. She has quite a beautiful cat eye that you can barely see, but you know that it's there. So I'm just going to pull my eye taut. Use this as a guideline over here. All right, so you'll see that it just follows that line and goes right up the side there. Get a little bit more. It dries out very quickly. And just do that to the other eye. And when you're doing your eyeliner, you never really want it to be flat in certain areas. And I see how this can kind of round out and then go flat and come down. So just go backwards, really using circular motions almost to round that out a little bit better. Short strokes are key, that's for sure. It's easier to do it that way. Just going above that line and really taking it up. And same thing, just pull this a little bit taut. Kind of follow that line up there. And perfect. So that is it for our eyeliner on the top. What I'm going to do now is take a little bit of shadow and go underneath. I really like using this Merle Norman brush because it has a point, but because it's a little bit bigger, and the liner on here comes down a little bit further than normal, than what I normally do. So I really, really like that this brush will help me have precision, but then still blend it downward. It's not super, super close to the lash line. I mean, obviously at the top it's close to the lash line, but down below it goes further. Just kind of wiggle it back and forth right over there to connect these two. Perfect. And then I'm going to take a Wet n Wild black pencil right here, and I'm going to line my waterline. Really smudge it into those lashes so it meets up with that shadow. And I'm also going to carefully connect in the middle right there. To make that last a little bit longer, I'm going to be taking my Merle Norman brush, taking it some black shadow, and just patting it on top. Okay, I'm going to take some of this Wet n Wild bronzer. I'm going to stay in the hollows of my cheek, and I'm going to try and concentrate it really underneath right there. Just going to go in all those dark colors, not the lighter one. Go underneath. Definitely staying underneath that bone right there. Creating that hollow. I'll pull up into the hairline just a little bit, just on this side though. Don't need it on the other side since my bangs kind of cover it. I'm gonna come down underneath my jawline and just have it come down on my neck a little bit. Then I'm going to take this Wet n Wild lip pencil. This is 712, it's called Willow. She has gorgeously big lips. I'm gonna go kind of on the outside. Fill it in just a touch on the ends. Then I'm going to use this in Nude Flash. It's Maybelline. And just got some in my arm. Just like that. I'm going to use that same Maxine's mop in that same light color that we had on our lid. Kind of pat it over that right there. It might soften the edges a little bit, but it won't take away from the intensity that we're wanting to have with that. It's still a very cut crease. Perfect. Then we're going to darken up our brows. I am actually going to use the black in the corner and then the dark brown right above it. I'm just going to put on a quick coat of mascara. I'm using the, is it CoverGirl? Yes, CoverGirl, super cheap at the drugstore. And then I also went and got the Demi Wispies that you can buy at Walmart. So they're not Ardell's, but they are still Demi Wispies. They're a little bit more synthetic in their feel, but they still work, and they're only $2.99 at Walmart, which is great. You know, and I didn't even end up using my contour palette at all, did I? I guess I could liven up my cheeks with a little bit of blush, but All right, so I'm going to put some blush on. Actually, I'll use that rosy color right down here, or something kind of comparable. You can use Maybelline. It's a little bit more of a dusty rose, but this one is in Potpourri. It's really pretty. I'm not going to do it too much. Out there. Okay, then I'll put on my lashes and I'll be right back. I'm just going to do some on the bottom really quickly. There is our look for the day. And voila! My interpretation of that gorgeous picture that I saw on Pinterest. And I've actually been thinking, I've been growing out my hair for some time now. The hair color as well as the hair length, and I was really wanting to do the color that she has in there with her highlights. So tell me what you guys think, yay or nay. It's been black for so long, and now I have it a dark brown like hers and would love to get those highlights, and summer's on its way and I thought maybe. So let me know what you think. Talk to you guys later. Bye.